نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب زدني علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين آمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.
Walaikum salam.
How's everyone?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. Busy with your school homeworks and studying this as well?
Yeah, it's science fair and I'm so stressed out.
What are you doing for science fair?
We're making a device to help stop power line for fires, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And the teacher moved the due date a week earlier and we have to test this weekend, so we'll have to do like really long meetings.
Oh, may Allah put barakah in your time and in your project and as well. So, you know, one thing, when we read Quran or we learn Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala add that time in your regular time. It means that Allah will put so much barakah in your time. If you are spending 1 hour in this class, you are lock down your 1 hour for this class to learn or um, to learn the Quran. What will happen? You will get barakah of 1 hour and you will be able to do lots of things. So it happens with me many times. Whenever I was reading Quran more, I feel I had so much time. So don't take pressure. Just relax and make dua. Inshallah, Allah will make it easy for you. Okay, let's start. We are going to start from here. The story takes a suddenly from the scene of growth and prosperity to one destruction and barrenness. So, okay, so you are unmuted, so let's start with you.
Okay. So yesterday we covered up the parts of like how faith makes a person powerful, and the next couple of paragraphs talk about like the sudden change in the rich person's garden and how like it gets destroyed, and um, and he realizes that like um he was too like selfish and didn't like appreciate Allah for everything he had, and by the time he repents to Allah, like it's too late, and he like regrets his past.
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Alhamdulillah. Did you get it, Javeria? She explained well?
Yes.
Okay, now it's your turn. Javeria, you muted yourself, so yep.
Oh yeah, just a minute, let me close the door.
Oh.
At this point of the surah, like where the garden is suddenly destroyed and all the abundance that we see is all gone, the surah declares that protection comes from Allah, and since that person was arrogant and thought that he would have this forever, Allah showed him that no, this is not something that you get just like that. You have to show gratitude for it.
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
And the surah just ends with the gardens totally destroyed and the owner regretting what he had done. And we realize that Allah's power nothing can beat that.
Yes. So the point to learn from here is that whatever we are having it, whether it's a lot or it's very less, we have to show the gratitude, and we should be showing be thankful whatever we have in our life, because in the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if you will be grateful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you more, and if you will be ungrateful, then my punishment is very strong. So it's better to be thankful and show gratitude whatever we have in our lives, whether it's the wealth or whether it's a family or whether it's house, anything. Okay, Tarim, read next.
There's another story. It's like similar to gardens. Mm, this scene is showed very quickly. So, um, I don't know how to explain. It's just introduction.
I don't know how to explain this. Now the surah draws another scene showing life on earth in its uh, totality. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now telling us that with a simile. Do you know what is simile?
Yes.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that the life after that is just like the plants of this world. In fall, you have seen that the leaves fall down, and many of the plants are dead in winter. But as soon as it rains and spring comes, what happened? That they Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regrow them, and from their death they turn to be alive. Then they get a new life. So in this way, on the day of judgment, the human beings will be also be regrown, and will be again they will get a life on that day. Mm. Okay. Okay, Terry. Next. Because previously you...
Wealth and children are the most like things that people want like in their life. Islam does not like say no for you to enjoy this. It is not right that people like the way they're shown should be shown as like, or they should be seen as what they have, like what how much wealth they have. Like true value should be given to what like is in their hearts and what they like them themselves, not
Okay. Did you get it, Vedi and Zoya? Did you understood what she said?
Yeah, it means that wealth and children could easily go away, but what really stays forever are all your good deeds. So that's what people should be measured as, and not how much money they have or how many children they have.
Hmm. Okay. You can do the next video. The very next paragraph, you can do this.
So people's hopes are normally they put all their hopes on their wealth and children, but the good deeds that they have, that's what's most important, and that's what will help you later on, because your money could easily go away, your children will grow up and go away. So with the good deeds that they have, they're bound to receive what they get, like Jannah on the day of judgment. And we see this continuously coming, starting with an instruction to the prophet to remain patient with the people who are following Allah, and try not to bend to truth for those who don't want to. And we see the same message in the story of the two gardens.
Barakallah feek. Jazakallah khair. Alhamdulillah, we have completed this story as well. And what we learn. Can you tell me what lesson you learned from this story of two garden? Um,
We should always give gratitude to Allah for what we have, and we should always be thankful and not get too arrogant.
okay.
And we should try our best to do as many good deeds as possible, because that's what's going to stay forever. Zay, go away.
Okay.
I thought I closed the door.
Okay. Zoya, now it's your.
Um,
I cannot hear you, or you're thinking. We cannot hear you, Zoya. Not yet. Previously we can, but not now. Maybe your wire. Okay, you can check or you can type what lesson you learned from this story. Okay, now we can say. Mm,
hello?
yeah, now we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So then from the story of the two gardens, I learned that like money and children, of course, like there are dormants in life, and like basically like having like all the luxuries and stuff, but you have to be like showing gratitude to Allah because He's the one who's providing you with all the blessings, and yeah.
Yes. Okay, Barakallahu Fiku. Exactly. The main lesson was we should show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we would be thankful whatever we have, and the good deeds will be everlasting, and we can carry them on the day of judgment as well, but the wealth and the children are just the adornment of this world. But all these things have one basis, which is the tawheed, the faith. If your faith is correct, then all these things you can follow easily. But if your faith is not correct, you are, because the rich person who had the gardens, he had wrong faith. So that's why the other person is mentioning, especially that I believe in one God and I have the strong faith. So this is also a lesson that our faith is very important in all matter. So these would be the big three lessons we can learn from this story, inshallah. Okay. The next, third one is heedless of divine warning. So this will be start from verse 47 um, through verse 59. So these there will be, you will read about all about the day of judgment, and the story of Adam and Satan as well. So inshallah we will learn this, and then after that we will have the story from Farid. Okay, where can we start with one? Can you speak, Zoya?
Oh, okay, yeah. So for the overview for the third passage is basically talks about the day of judgment and how um like first gives the story about the shaitan's behavior when he was commanded to prostrate himself before Adam alayhi salam, and how he disobeyed his Lord, and how if you people uh like become friends with shaitan, and though knowing that they're their enemies, and associating partners with Allah, it's basically a big sin, and how they're gonna end up with big punishment on the day of judgment. And um like also talks about how the people wanted they don't want to accept the face, the truth of the day of judgment, and they feel if they even have to get a punishment, it should be given to them as how it was given to people in the past communities.
Jazakallah khair. Barakallah fiki. Alhamdulillah, you explained very well. So this is the how the this passage will go on. There's a the whole scene of the day of judgment and how Satan behavior, how he disobeyed. So inshallah we'll read that, and we will try to understand how we can be on the right path as well, inshallah. Okay, Julia, can you do the next one?
So this is just a verse. Do you want me to read it?
Sorry, what did you say?
Uh, do you want me to do the next paragraph, because this is just a verse and a sentence?
Yeah, yes, you can go ahead.
Okay.
You should know you should know the meaning of the verses as well, because sometimes in the question they will tell you, it will be written there, this half verse, and then they will ask you a question. So if you didn't read these things, the translation of the verses, you might get confused, like, okay, where it was, like which story was this one, and how I can answer this. So it's better to read the translation as well, inshallah.
Do you want me to read it then?
No, you don't read it to me, but you should know it.
Okay. So these verses are kind of used like a simile to what will happen to us. How we see the mountains that are really strong disappear, what will happen to our hearts, and how the whole earth will appear barren. There's nothing there to block anyone's view, just like how our hearts and consciences will be wide open, and um, nothing will be able to hide our secrets away, and people are brought forward, not leaving out any one of them. They'll all be waiting for they're all in a big area where no one can hide.
Yes, that will be a very scary day. If we are not prepared for that, then it will be very scary for us. So because on that day, um the earth will be flat. There will be no rise or depth in on the earth. S- Allah knows everything will be finished. Even the mountains, when you cross by the mountains, what you see, they are so huge and so strong, but on the day of judgment they will be just like a cotton ball. Like they'll, yes, it will, they will be crushed into a small pieces and they will be flying all over the places. So nothing will be on the face of the earth. So inshallah, jazakallah khair Juwairiya, inshallah. Okay, Zoya, you're unmuted. Do you want to read?
Sure.
Okay.
So the next two paragraphs talk about how the on the day of judgment, like everyone will be in shame, covering their faces, like the unbelievers, because they didn't like believe in the faith or the truth of day of judgment. And then Allah says, like in verse 48, like, now you're standing in front of us, though you have claimed that you would, like, your time for resurrection will never come. So, and they'll hear like Allah's voice rebuking the people and reminding them of their position. And they'll be like covering their faces in shame.
So jazakallah khair. Okay. So now can you
In this paragraph, it says that the day of judgment for us is in the really distant future. But we almost see the shame in the people's faces. We hear the majestic voices of the Almighty. I think Almighty means Allah. Reminding them of their position, but they still shamelessly persisted of what they were doing and disobeying Allah. Um, they're meeting in such a day when they're gonna meet Allah on the day of judgment, when when they were gonna get resurrected. Should I read the next one? For the surah resumes in description. Well, the people realize that it is a comprehensive, accurate record. I don't know what that means.
what they will get on the next?
Oh, I think it means they're gonna get a bad record.
Now they will get their book of
They'll get their book of deeds. And if it's bad, then if it's bad, they'll get a consequence. But if it's good, they might go to heaven. They will go to heaven. Their every single thing will be in their embarrassing facts or what? They are all
they're
gonna
embarrassed
be
by the fact
embarrassed
that
by
the records include every single thing, no matter how small or trivial.
That
Just
is
keep it properly.
yeah, that's all.
And they will be very frustrated. And then they will say, woe to us. What a record is this? Okay, complete this one.
This is the cry of the people who are gonna be worried and frustrated for what they had done. After who's he?
Where is he?
After he has been caught.
Whoever got the
Whoever got the book of deeds is unable to evade the what will happen to him or find justification. Because he recognized the accuracy of the record of what he did in his previous life. That's all.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. In this passage, whatever you are reading, it was like the scene of the day of judgment, how the record will be given to everyone, and what will be happen on the earth, and your hearts will be very empty. You will be scared, and when you will get your book of deeds on the day of judgment, you will be very shocked and very surprised to see each and everything you have done uh, in your life, whether it's big, it's small, everything will be in that. So when you will see that, the people will be very frustrated. It could be us or it could be anyone. So uh, and they will be cry, like they will be say, okay, woe to us, or what a record is this, like we if we get some bad report cards, then we said, oh my god, we did so wrong, what is this, I don't deserve this result, or something like that, whatever you says, uh, the people say. So on the day of judgment, it will be the just like that. And this is because he recognized the accuracy of the record, which puts before his eyes all that he has done. So on the day of judgment, you will be realized that whatever you are doing, even though it's small or big, it's in the book. So do not underestimate when you're doing a good deed, the small good deed or a small bad deed. So you everyone thinks, okay, the big good deed is good, like going for hajj and everything, everyone know that it's rewarded big, so everyone would like to do that. But for the small good deeds, like smiling to other person, or sharing food, or sharing your things with other people, or paying attention to this class even, so these are the small good deeds. um, on the day of judgment, uh, these small good deeds will worth a lot. So do not underestimate, or don't say, okay, this is just a small good deed, so it's okay if I don't do it. No, don't say that, and try to do it, even though it's very very small, even though it's you're just picking up some food items on the floor, to just pick it on and put it on the side, on the side, or maybe you are picking a stone from or trash from the road and put it on the side, so that other people will not get hurt. So that good deed is just in between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody is watching, nobody is looking, and you are not doing that for to impress others. So do good deeds which is uh, good, and it's in front of you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. Don't do these things just to show off that, oh, see, how good I am. No. Uh, Sometimes it's good. You can do it openly to motivate others, but your intention should be pure at that time as well. Okay, Javelia, can you read the next one? We have 5 minutes left, inshallah. Then we will conclude.
Okay, so the guilty, the ones who have not like followed Islam, are facing a really difficult situation because Shaitan is their enemy, and either way they befriended him and he led them to what the situation that they are in right now. And it's saying how strange it is that they took him as for friends when they knew that he was one of like the worst there was, because of his first encounter with Adam alayhi salam.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. Exactly. The Iblis, Shaitan, Jinn, there's a lots of name for the Shaitan. So whatever you say, but they are, he is our enemy. And enemy cannot be friend with us, right? if we think someone is our enemy, we cannot be his or her friend, because we know, even though he is behaving very nice with us, but we know from inside his or her heart he or she is our enemy. So if we'll make a friend, he or she will not guide me properly, and he will deceive me, and he will put me in danger. So it's better not to make Satan your friend. Hmm. Okay, Terry.
Allah asks us, why do they make friends with their enemies? Like they have no real knowledge of any trustworthiness. Allah does not need help or support from us. Uh, mm, needs help from people. Is it okay as people? Like, is it okay to ask whether Allah seeks help from people who do not lead others astray? Allah does not need anyone in this universe. He has everything he needs, and like he made us. People who like seek protection from Shaitan, make him a partner, they only do because they think that Shaitan has a lot of money and is very powerful, and like can overpower people, when like Shaitan is just a person, like a Shaitan who leads people astray.
Okay, so okay, Jazakallah khair, Tahrim. So this is very important to reflect a little on the way the last verse end. Nor do I seek aid from those who lead people astray. Is it appropriate to ask whether God seeks help from people who do not lead other astray? Allah is great, so he don't need anyone in this world. So who seek protection from shaitan and make him partner of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and so because they imagine that Satan has a great wealth of knowledge and overpowering might, when in fact, what is the reality? The Satan is a seducer who leads people astray. So sometimes even Satan can make a face of a human being just to mislead you, so that you will be go away from the religion, or he will interrupt your faith, so that once your faith is interrupted, then he is okay with everything, whatever, even though you read so many salah, or you fast and everything, but if your faith is not strong, then definitely he's the happiest on the earth. Alhamdulillah, we have done till page 21. Inshallah, we will have our next class on Monday. So, Jazakumullah khairan kaseera for your participation and coming and attending. Inshallah, we will have our class on Monday. Okay, take care of yourself and have a good weekend. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.